And in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, welcome back to the Mind of Mus podcast. This is episode number 4. I realized as I'm getting further into all of this, there are so many little bits that you can add. I certainly have kind of worked a little bit to add little bits here and there. I'm not sure there's anything new in this episode, but do realize be cool to have like a cool intro. Maybe, maybe not. Haven't really looked into it too deep yet. Gonna play around with some ideas, and if I find something cool, I will definitely chuck it in. So, couple little different bits here. Obviously, there's the video portion of it. Had some feedback in regards to that, and one of the common ones that kept coming up was, can you face the camera and talk to us? So here I am, looking at you directly in the eyes. And obviously, if you're listening to this on the audio podcast, you can't really tell what I'm doing. So, no different for you. But for you guys watching, I don't know. It's not my cup of tea personally. I all the podcasts I've kind of watched and liked, they've not really addressed the camera directly. That being said, a lot of them were conversations with two or more people. Haven't really watched a solo podcast. I have looked at a few. Yeah, one or two of them do address the camera directly. So we'll see how this goes. Let me know if you prefer this at the end of the video or podcast. Podcast. This is a podcast. I need to keep focused on the audio. All right. Anyway, enough of me waffling on. We're going to look at today's topic. You put in what you get out. Now, what does that mean? Usually, it's you get out what you put in, right? Hard work, dedication, commitment. These are the keys to getting results. Of course, consistency is in there as well. So, why am I saying it in reverse? Why am I talking about you put in what you get out? Because I've had the opportunity to observe people over a very long period of time now, and there is a consistency in their pattern of behavior. And we tend to favor and put more action and effort into things that we do well. And we also tend to enjoy the things that we do well. It's not every single time, but more often than not, if you're in a new situation and it's going well for you, you're more likely to keep pushing forward with that. If you're trying something out for the first time and it's not going so well, you're just less likely to want to go back and do it again. And that's kind of what I mean. So, how does that help you in terms of exercise or nutrition for that matter? I don't really want to talk about nutrition too much. I'm going to focus mostly on physical activity because one of the things that we can achieve here is getting you to understand how you get to be more consistent with being physically active in your day-to-day life, and this is why this is important. So we're going to look at the example of the 3 ATM machines. If you're not too sure what an ATM machine is, I'm pretty sure most of us are, but it's basically the cash machine, where you go stick your bank card in and fingers crossed money comes out when you press a few buttons. Fingers crossed. There is a weird story about that I've just remembered, but I won't bring it up today. So, what happens with the 3 ATM machines? Cool. So we've got ATM machine number 1. You go to ATM machine number 1, you put your bank card in, ask for your PIN and all that other good stuff. Cool, we know that. And you want to take out £10, so you press the £10 option, and what does it do? It gives you the £10, assuming there are sufficient funds. Hopefully there are. So you've got your £10 now, great. job done. That ATM did what it was supposed to do. The second ATM, you go, you put your card in, again, PIN number, all of that jazz, ask for £10. This time though, you don't just get £10, you get £20, £30, maybe even £100. And it's like, wow, okay, got a lot more than what I'd initially asked for. Great. Third ATM. Go to the third ATM, what happens? Put your card in, PIN number, all of that jazz. Again, just asking for £10. Swallows your card. You don't get your money. And actually, the next time you check your account, your bank balance is even lower. So, not such a great experience, right? You got these three ATMs. One of them gave you exactly what you asked for. Another one gave you way more than you expected. And then the other one basically caused a whole lot of hassle, inconvenience, and created a loss. Which ATM are you more likely to go back to? And which ATM are you more likely to frequently go back to and be consistent in using to get your money out? That second one, right? The one that gave you all the extra. Or, worst case scenario, you're going to go back to ATM number 1. What you're not going to do is go back to ATM number 3. That's the one that's causing all the problems in the first place. So, that's exactly what's happening when we participate in physical activity. For some of us, going to the gym is like going to ATM number 2. We've got really good genetics, we've got good personal circumstances, we've got an environment that encourages us, and everything's kind of going to go in our favor. We go, we get results very quickly, our body responds well, and everything just feels, pretty progressive and good to do. Other cases, you're going to go, you're going to put effort in, and you're going to get fair and reasonable results. And for some others, you go, it's a horrible experience, everything feels painful, and after like a few weeks or a month, you're like, I'm not seeing any results. This sucks. I'm not enjoying this. I'd rather just stay at home and have some tea and biscuits or whatever it is that you do in your spare time. So, is this an excuse to not make effort if you're kind of stuck with a third ATM? Absolutely not. Third ATM and second ATM and the first ATM are available to everybody. We just have to figure out where we're putting our card into. So for some people, going to the gym and going to the free weights area and starting a bodybuilding routine is ATM number 2. For some people, playing football is ATM number 1. For some people, going to a group exercise class, and I'm not going to be specific on which one because I'm not that familiar with them, to be fair. I don't do them, too introverted for that style of exercise. But that might be ATM number 2 for somebody as well. Just, you have a great time and it just makes you want to keep going. And you are seeing, you're feeling and seeing progress from it in some way, shape or form. ATM number 3 happens to everybody in so many different ways. And it's not too dissimilar to, Goldilocks and the Three Bears, porridge too hot, too cold, just right. So ATM number 3 is basically porridge too hot. And I'm giving you the same example, or the same lesson in a different example. So hopefully that kind of makes sense. You're always going to be motivated towards whatever's rewarding you the most. So you got to find out what that is, and don't necessarily feel like you have to stick to something just because everybody else is doing it. Find the thing that you can do consistently, and you'll know it because you won't mind. At the very least, you won't mind ATM number 1. You won't mind doing it. But if you definitely don't like doing it, it's just not going to work out. You're not going to be consistent, and you're just not going to get a result. So, yeah, try not to use your bad experiences as an excuse not to push forward. Instead, use those experiences, use those ATMs as a guide to figure out what works really well with you, and then keep basically withdrawing your cash from there. You're more likely to be consistent, you're more likely to see the outcome that you want, and you might find that the other ATMs start to become a little bit more favorable as your bank account grows. I don't know if that kind of works in with this analogy. I hope you kind of got that. If not, comment, let me know. I'll try and clear that up. But yeah, I'm going to wrap that up again. Kind of reach around the 10-minute mark. And like I mentioned in previous episodes, don't want to make these too long. I do want to kind of get straight to the point. And there will definitely be more of these, more of me trying to give you pretty much the same lessons in many different examples. So if you didn't get it today, hopefully you'll get it in the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one. It is my experience as somebody who's trained a lot of people. I often have to say things multiple times and in many different ways before the lesson is learned. So there's absolutely zero expectation from me that you'll fully get what I'm saying. It does take a little bit of time to process and then relate it to your own sort of life and your own example, and then you're like, okay, I kind of get what that means now, and then you can incorporate it, and it then adds value, and you're better at something. And in this case, hopefully you're better at incorporating physical activity in your day-to-day life, and we'll certainly look at in future episodes the benefit of doing that. Cool. All right. Hopefully everyone's enjoying these podcasts. Thank you so much for everybody that's been giving feedback so far. Please continue to do so. If you've been listening, if you've been commenting, if you've been liking, if you've been sharing, I absolutely love every single one of you for that. And if you haven't done any of those things, I still love you. Thank you so much for just paying attention. I will certainly keep going with these podcasts. All right. Till the next time. See you later. Bye bye.